Hey, what happened to sleeping?
Okay, I know it doesn't look like it, but this here is not a bad read. Only one problem. Right there. To be continued. I hate cliffhangers.
Where did you get that?
Back at Bill's. I mean, all this stuff was just lying there.
What else did you get?
Well... Here. This make you all nostalgic?
You know, that is actually before my time. That is a winner, though. Oh, man.
Well, better than nothing. Oh. I'm sure your friend will be missing this tonight. It's light on the reading, but it's got some interesting photos.
Now, Ellie, that ain't for kids.
Whoa! How the hell would he even walk around with that thing?
Get rid of that.
Well, hold your horses. I want to see what all the fuss is about. Oh. Why are these all stuck together? I'm just fucking with you. Bye-bye, dude. You know what? This isn't that bad.
Why don't you try to get some sleep? All right.
I'm not even tired.
Oh, perfect.
Now what?
Screw it.
Easy.
Please!
Holy shit.
Help!
Are we gonna help him?
Put your seatbelt on, Ellie.
Well, what about the guy?
He ain't even hurt.
Alone and forsaken by fate and by man. Oh Lord, if you hear me, please take my hand. We met in the springtime. Blossoms unfold.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Then get out, quick. Come here. Shit.
Follow me, you chicken shit!
Show you. I'll show you.
Motherfucker! What's wrong with these guys?
Catch your breath. We're leaving.
Hey. Watch out!
Stay down!
Alright, hey everybody, welcome back for episode 5 of my playthrough of The Last of Us. I don't know what it is about this part of the game, but I always feel like the game never really starts for me up until they get to Pittsburgh. I don't know, there's always, every time that I play it, I'm just brought back to the first time that I played this game, and that I think it took me, like I would play kind of on and off for like an hour or two.
You ugly fuck!
Every day, well not every day, but for like a week, like an hour or two every couple of days, and I just could not get into it, and then it was something about like finally getting past Bill's area and getting to Pittsburgh that it really just like took off from there for me, and I could not stop playing it. There's also something, if you've ever watched Chugga Conroy, who was a Let's Player I used to watch a lot of when I was in high school. He always talked about the Let's Play curse, about how like you can be amazing at a game, but the minute you try and play it for a YouTube video, you just suck at it. And I really feel like this is a prime example of that, because I died probably 6 or 7 times during the course of this whole area. And some of them are like really... And I just played this like a couple of weeks ago. And some of the things that I died to are like really bad. Also, as a heads up, I was doing some recording for later areas in the game, and there were some serious glitches that I ran into. I think it's just... I'm playing the remastered version of this game that came out for PlayStation 4. And I think that it's just my copy of the game, because I've played it before on a remastered copy, and I had no issues with it, and this time I have like a couple of pretty serious glitches that happened that I'll talk about when we actually get to them. They're not until much later on for like a specific segment of the game, and after that there's no more glitches, but... yeah, I finished my initial playthrough of The Last of Us Part 2, and I have to say that it's a solid sequel. It's not the best video game sequel. In my eyes, the best video game sequel is probably Dead Space 2. But it's a solid follow-up. I did make a video explaining why it is that I feel like you should play it.
All right.
If
I think that's the last of them.
if you've never
You okay?
played the first one, you might not like
Yeah.
the sequel,
Guess so.
but
Good.
the sequel is definitely a solid follow-up to it. And if you enjoy
You know,
Ellie and Joel's interactions in this game, there's a lot there for you as well that just kind of builds on their story. But yeah, back to this part. I don't know what it is, but this game never really starts until this point for me. And at that point, it just like takes off. And it really feels like it's like a little bit of like a roller coaster curve kind of thing. Because it starts off just very like slow for me. Like you get like the initial bump at the beginning with the prologue, then it just kind of bottoms out for a while, and then you get here and it ramps up and it just keeps going until the you get to the last section of the game, which I feel is, again, it slows down quite a bit. Yeah, I don't know what it is about this area, but I wish that you could skip sections in this game, because I would absolutely go back and just play this area over and over again. It's just so great.
Hey, maybe we can go through here.
Come on. All right, go. See if you can get it propped open with something.
There's some pretty gnarly stuff in here.
Ellie!
Right. Okay, go!
All right, I got it.
Look.
Fucking hunters. See, this could have been us.
That is a lot of people that didn't make it.
I knew it. should have turned the damn...
Yeah, I apologize for picking up the smoke bomb there.
We lived.
Also, a heads up, I do miss a couple of
Barely.
extra conversations that you can have with Ellie. Just because either I accidentally walked to an area where it triggers the next scene before I realized that there was like an extra conversation you can have. Plus, like I said, I've been playing the second one, and there's a lot of improvements that have been made. I was waiting for like the little audio cue to let me know that there is a an extra conversation that you can have, and you know when that doesn't happen, and then oh, I'm supposed to press the triangle button now.
Got bad on both sides.
We'll take that as a yes.
Take it however you want.
Now this brings me into
I guess this is where the assholes
a topic that I kind of want to cover.
slept.
That I feel like it's like a chunk of this history that like of this game that like we're missing, and I wish that they would cover this, which is the 20 years in between Outbreak Day and when the first game takes place, when this game takes place. There's 20 years of crazy shit that happened to Joel, of things he had to do, and that's something that they kind of allude to with this whole area, is that he, excuse me, is that he's done some things in order to survive that he's not proud of. And I just wish that they would do something to kind of like touch on that. Not even the game. I know that HBO is making a The Last of Us TV series. I would love for that TV series to just cover the 20 years in between the the start of the first game and then where the actual game takes place. I think that 20-year spot would be awesome for a TV series. But we'll just have to wait and see. I think they're gonna just basically rehash the story of The Last of Us, but it seems like they might be changing some of the characters, or how important some of the characters are. Not really certain. I've watched like one YouTube video on it.
I don't think these guys were infected.
Well, it don't matter. Let's just keep moving. All right. Here's the bridge. That's our way out of here. Hey, Ellie, slow down. Wait for me.
What? Right here.
How about you let me go first? And keep your voice down.
Okay.
I really do. I love this area. I wish they'd kind of... I mean, the sequel's kind of like the whole game kind of feels like this. But, you know,
I'm whistling.
less so. I don't know.
Oh, good. Something else you can drive me crazy with.
Yeah, if you played the sequel,
What happened here?
let me know in the comments below what your thoughts were on it. If you liked it, if you hated it. Personally, I mean, I have a whole video explaining why it is that you should play it. I personally really liked it.
What was that?
Like I said, I think it's a solid follow-up. However, I do feel that, you know, now that I've played it, and especially now that I'm playing it a second time, I kind of want certain things I wish that they had done a little bit different. Not to the actual story, just how it's told. And I'm not gonna go into it in this video or even probably during this whole playthrough, but you know, there's certain ways that things were handled in the game that I wish that it had been handled a little bit differently. Not specific story beats, just how the story is laid out.
About to gold mine, lucky bastards.
See if there's anything you can forage while we wait for...
But I think that
Ain't nothing.
the actual story
Keep
is
going.
great. And all the changes they made to the gameplay are fantastic. If you have an issue with the actual gameplay, there's, you know, like people are saying that it's way too similar to the first game. Going back and trying to play this game after beating the second one, it's night and day. Like, it's the same kind of, like,
Very funny, man.
gameplay and same kind of, things that are done. Oh yeah, do you like how amazing I am with the bow and arrow in this part? I'm so terrible at aiming the bow in this. I don't get much better as the game goes on either. But, you know, the gameplay in that is so just silky smooth. And you can say that, no, it's the same. Really go back and play this one after playing the second one, because everything that they've changed in that game, it's night and day how well they play. They really did a great job. And there's some dude on Twitter keeps posting like these 15-second clips of Ellie just like massacring people in like a very stylish John Wick way, that if it played the same as this one later on, I'd do my best to
We'll get there.
kind of mimic those kinds of things, and adopt a way more aggressive play style,
Strange
because
thing
I keep
checked
dying
those
through all the
records.
stealth
This
sections
is what most zones
that
look like. This place has been
it just
abandoned
ends
for a
up
while.
you know, it doesn't look the same. Plus the dodge button, I found myself just like trying, like constantly,
Give us our
when I would get
rations.
overwhelmed by infected in this game, just hitting the
wouldn't they
what
give
would
them
be
their
the dodge
food?
button in the sequel.
Sometimes they ran out.
And
Most
it's
times
crazy
they held
how
on to it.
big of a
never
change that
happened in
made,
Boston.
just to how
Must
the
be
game
it
plays
happened all
out.
the time.
Plus the amount of enemies that are on screen. Like in here, the max you get are like 7 or 8 enemies
They hear others.
in that game, dude. I would, like, if you go loud, you can get overwhelmed very easily.
Yeah, you were a part of that? I heard about this.
I've never seen anyone with so much fucking energy. It took a couple minutes to snuff everyone else, and fucking 5 hours to hunt her ass down.
Jesus. Sometimes you gotta earn your keep, right?
Yeah, I guess. We're about to give up when she started shooting at us. It's stupid. She could have got away. I had 2 other guys keep her busy. I took out my rifle, lined up a little head in the crosshairs, and pow! And that was that.
Damn. Well, maybe you should have kept her. You know, made her one of us.
No, no way. That girl, she'd have killed us all in our sleep.
So yeah, this whole area, I do my best to be stealthy. The problem is I constantly forget this. I think that this part is separate from another part that it's actually a part of. So I always think that like there's only these 3 guys and that there is nobody else. But these 3 guys are part of a larger group that's in that building to the right. So I'm like, oh yeah, I got this. I just stealth my way through this. Not at all, because I constantly forget that there's actually like way more guys in that building. There's like 6 more people in there.
Bachman says we're getting big enough to expand.
New head honcho. Same bullshit talk.
I don't know. Now that we have enough people watching all the exits, he says we can set up a larger perimeter.
God. Fuck these guys.
Yeah, I really feel that with the sequel, the gunplay is just significantly better. And I feel like if the game didn't have so much controversy going on right now, that it's kind of did for third-person shooting what I feel Resident Evil 4 did, where it just kind of changed it. It's like the new gold standard.
Behind you.
In my opinion, of course. I feel like if that's where like a lot of third-person shooting is going to be kind of held to. So again, I'm really doing my best to try and like stealth my way out of here, but I can never remember where it is you're supposed to go. So I kind of mess that up, and I end up having to like take out every single one of these guys.
Oh my god!
Also, I apologize if it is kind of dark. I don't know if it's just the preview that I'm watching for this, but it looks surprisingly dark. And, you know, again, I don't know if it's necessarily just the preview I'm watching, or if once this gets uploaded, if that's how it's going to be, but I have the max brightness settings on. Max brightness, and it's still looks kind of dark in some sections, so I apologize for that. That might just be my capture card. Another thing that I've noticed while playing through these sections is that the shotgun it's kind of like, I don't know, it's not a very, like, powerful weapon. Like, they basically have to get, like, right in front of you in order for it to be, like, a consistent single shot kill.
Oh, fuck.
Which is a little annoying.
Come, man, moving up. Come, asshole. Like you up.
Like, give you an idea. That guy right there, if this was the sequel, that guy would have been dead. But in this game, the shotgun, you know, you need to be like next to them in order for it to be a kill.
Oh, man.
Even if you get a headshot, like that guy right there really should be dead. The shotgun just feels like you're trying to shoot like BBs at a guy as opposed to like consistent like shots. Like it's not a consistent weapon in this game. I don't know. I think that's all of them. Maybe. I could be completely wrong, though. So, oh, yep, and I'm completely wrong. I'm so glad I don't do live commentary for this, because I would die so often. More often than I currently die. Now that's all of them. Okay.
That's too damn close.
To the edge of the universe and back. Endure and survive.
Excuse me?
Savage Starlight. That comic I've been reading? That's what the hero says after a big battle.
Endure and survive.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now this is something that I kind of noticed this time around. And I don't know if this is how it was in the original, because I feel like there was a different part where this is supposed to trigger, but I miss because I'm waiting for Ellie to
Wish I had more room in my backpack.
start telling jokes, and I feel like Ellie tells jokes at an earlier point.
When I'm not running away from hunters.
But again, I don't know if it's just my copy of the remaster, or if this is just how every copy of the remaster is. I have a lot of weird glitches and issues. By the way, I told you miss Ellie telling jokes, so you don't get any puns. I'm sorry, but... yeah, it just feels like, part of this...
Okay, we need to lighten the mood.
like, I miss it by that much. I went through the doorway and that triggered it. Her to put the book away. But it feels weird that she's telling those jokes right after, like, slaughtering a bunch of people while being, like, around them. I don't know. See, this is what I mean, like, I get lost and I'm like, where the hell am I supposed to go? I end up getting it figured out, but it does take me a minute. So now I just wander around aimlessly. I literally can never remember, and then it's just right down here. I don't know why it is I always have such a hard time remembering where it is you're supposed to go, but it's right here. Maybe someday, but I guarantee even if I play this game tomorrow and go back through this whole section, I will not be able to remember where it is I'm supposed to go.
Man, you gotta be crazy to string up soldiers.
You get people desperate enough, they'll do just about anything.
And the people that rose up, they're the ones we've been fighting here?
That'd be my bet. Let's see where this leads us. Watch yourself on these drops.
Pick up with that plank.
Down.
Let's get out of here.
There's more of them. All right. I don't think they saw us.
Sorry for that cut there.
There's our
I
bridge.
was just splicing together two
We're a little
recordings.
closer, I think.
Just keep at it. Come on.
But this brings about another little issue that I have with the sequel versus this game. In this game and the sequel, there are pretty open areas that you can explore,
Can't make that jump.
kind of find stuff, find ways around it.
Up there, I can move that plank.
However, in this game, it's still kind of clear where it is that you end up having to go. For the most part. In the
See where
sequel,
this goes.
there's a lot of times where I feel like you can go everywhere. Where it just feels like you're looking at something, you can go, oh, that's where I'm supposed to go next. That's the area I'm supposed to go. And then you go over there and nope, you can't actually go that way. Or like it looks really open and you're like, oh, like I've looked in this part, let me look over here, but then you go to look over there and it's a blocked off area. It just feels really, it feels more confined because it feels like you should be able to go everywhere, but you can't.
Get on.
Does that make sense? Like like the places you can go look exactly the same as the places you can't go. And that's definitely a small issue that I have with this. Alright, sorry about that. Had to step away for a second because the Amazon package was being delivered. But yeah, so back to what I was saying. It just feels like this area is very open, but it's still kind of clear as to where it is you have to go. Which I do like. And I do think that that helps a lot, and I hope if there's anything that Naughty Dog kind of takes away from the sequel, is that you can have a nice looking game, but still make it very clear where it is you have to go. You know, and there's times where, like, I feel like somebody at some point during their playtesting meeting came to them and was like, hey, people keep getting lost. Because there are times where there's like little pieces, like little yellow strips on something.
And what would you get?
Just
I don't know. But for the most part, it's very easy to get lost in the sequel, whereas again, this game, very clear where it is you have to go, except for like certain areas, like that previous spot where I keep getting lost.
Do you think those hunters are gone?
We're about to find out.
The answer is no. No, the hunters are still very much there.
It's clear, Ellie. Come on down.
Oh, fancy. You ever stayed at a place like this? Before it all went to shit, I mean?
So, again, I missed another extra conversation you can have with Ellie there. Which is a little bit upsetting, but...
I bet we can get up there.
Oh, it's too high. Let's see what we can find. Oh, I really miss coffee.
Part of me wonders if there was an apocalypse, how much people would miss coffee. You know? Like, how much would a bag of coffee end up becoming worth in the apocalypse? Like, if somebody was like, oh man, really could use a nice cup of coffee. Someone pulls out like a 18-year-old bag of Folgers. Folgers, like, pre-ground, gross coffee. Oh. It'd probably taste like warm cardboard. I don't think it would taste good. But then, 20 years into the apocalypse, how would coffee taste? I don't know. I used to work at coffee shops, so I'm not a huge coffee snob, but I'm a little bit of a coffee snob. If you want to be a coffee snob, though, not sponsored by them, by the way, but there's a company called Bottomless where they ship you fresh roasted coffee by using like a little 3D printed scale, so like weighs your coffee, and as it gets closer to running out, they just automatically ship you some more. Tell you what, I don't know if I can go back. It's so good. Even just their basic roasts are really good. I'm getting off on a tangent here. This is kind of where I started to realize how big of an improvement the sequel is. Because if you make any noise in the sequel, enemies will actively try and hunt you down. You know, or if somebody stops responding, they'll go and start looking for them. So again, like complaining and saying that like the game didn't make any changes, just go back and play the first game. Or that the AI is bad in the sequel, just go back and play the first game. It's massive improvements over what we have here. Not saying that the first game is unplayable. Obviously I'm playing it, and obviously I'm having a tough time with it, considering how many deaths I've had to edit out of this thing. There's some sequences coming up that I die at least 6 times. Probably more than that. Probably like there's one part in particular that I literally had to edit out. It was like it's like an hour and 15 minute segment. Jeez. I had to edit out about 15-20 minutes of me just dying constantly.
Yeah, I hear it too.
Which is always fun. It's always fun when you just die every 5 seconds. Excuse me, sorry.
Oh, fuck. Over here!
So again, it's a shotgun. Guys, about 3 yards away, so like 15 feet. No, that's 9 feet. 9 feet away. That should be an instant kill. He doesn't even have like any armor or anything on. I don't know. And then again, this is like the AI is so, in comparison to the sequel, it's very old. The fact that you can just like run around in a circle and that will take care of most enemies. Again, here I am, thoroughly convinced I'm gonna die.
Holy shit, Joel. Shotgun.
Four shots from a shotgun. It just blows my mind that how wimpy the shotgun is in this game. And it's surprising too. I don't know.
Hey, it looks like there's a ladder inside this elevator.
Hold on, let me try to open it.
Also, again, a lot of like the button mashing sequences have been changed to just holding down the button in the sequel.
Let's see where this goes. It's gonna be a tight fit, but
Just in case.
find me something to climb on. Okay, here we go. There we go.
I'm alright! Are you okay?
No! You scared the shit out of me!
So this section coming up is
Stay out there!
actually
I'll
very
make my way
like
up to
kind
you.
of memorable to me.
I'll try.
I don't really remember the first time I played this, but one of the times I played this, it was very stressful. And I think it actually might have been the first time I played this whole section where you have to, where you're separated from Ellie and you have to try and make your way back to her. Again, this was one of those moments that I was that this game kind of like grabbed my attention. And there's a lot of moments like that where you're very just shocked by what it is that they do. Not necessarily up to this point, but we'll be getting to the point that I'm speaking about in a minute. But there's a lot of like extra stuff that you can find here in the side, just rooms and everything, a shiv, some shotgun shells. You're gonna know how
There.
how crazy this will be. Just about that. And something else I didn't realize, a little bit of
Around this gate.
you know, environmental hints right there. Can't go that way, so maybe you can swim underneath it, and that's actually because again, first, you know, when I played through this recently, I got completely lost and couldn't figure out where to go. So yeah, if you swim down, right there. I think that's really an interesting way of doing things. I think more games need to do something like that. A little bit of environmental hints.
Demon spores. Oh, shit.
And this is the also first time playing the first one that the stalkers actually behaved how they're supposed to, which is they kind of like hide and then come out and attack you. And it's very interesting. This is the first time that's happened. Any other time I play this, they end up working exactly like how runners work, except they hide for like a second beforehand, and then they decide to just charge out at you. And it's very, it was actually kind of refreshing. This is the changes that they make to the infected in the sequel, by the way. So much. It's so much better. So much better in the sequel. Like, the stalkers are used much more often than they are in this game. Because I always felt like they were kind of underutilized There's really only a couple of areas that you encounter them through the entire game. And there's like it's not super effective if like enemies like this stop being scary if you use them too much. Prime example are the stalkers in the Dead Space games and Dead Space 2. It's used just a little bit too much, you know, because the first time you encounter them, terrifying. Second time, terrifying. Third time, okay, you're kind of understanding how to do this. The fourth time, then you get tired of them. Fifth time, you're like, okay, I've done this. I've fought these things. Like, they lose their edge. And although I do wish that they had done more with these enemies in this game, I am glad that they keep it to only a handful of encounters, because, you know, and the sequel somehow does this super well where they're used a lot more, but they're not used exhaustively. Like, you're not tired of them by the time you fight them for the last time. Like, they actually they end up playing really, really well. This part's funny because I know that sometimes there's a bloater that can spawn, and I don't know why, but I like totally forgot, because on easy mode the bloater does not spawn here. Because I've done that in easy mode where I just sprint to the end and then that's it. There's no bloater that spawns or anything. It's literally just like not there. Whereas this time around, the bloater spawned and it just kind of caught me off guard because I was not expecting it. Tell you what. So it's down there, so I'm like, alright. Not something I really need to worry about. Go over here. You want to talk about an enemy that got a facelift, that got reworked so well in the sequel. The bloaters, no joke, are, oh my god, like, they are amazing in the sequel. They genuinely feel terrifying. They feel very, very, you know, stressful to play against.
So much for that. I gotta find Ellie.
You know, in this one they just feel like lumbering idiots. In those ones they feel like, in the sequel they feel like you're playing against a giant terrifying thing. Oh my god. They knew what they were doing with the bloaters in the sequel. I gotta stop comparing this game to the sequel, because it's like, I can, you know, but that just shows how much of an improvement they made with the sequel. If you look at the first one, you go, wow, it's so much different. By the way, feel free to laugh at me for doing this. Oh, I don't do it yet. But I've done this every single playthrough for this game. And I've probably played this game like 3 or 4 times.
Down! Finish it! I got it!
I don't do it yet, but...
Nicely done.
You bit?
Not today. You?
Not today. All right. Spread out. Make sure we didn't miss any more of these fuckers.
Brick or bottle.
Look.
Again, there's like a ton of stuff over here. I don't know how it is that they decided that I was spotted at that point. how any other time, like, I've literally had that, like, droning play out all the way, and an enemy has not spotted me, and then this time it plays out for a second, and it's like, nope, he found you. By the way, pure luck that I didn't just die there. Absolutely pure luck.
Let's go check over here. You see anything over there?
This is where I start to get a little bit better with the bow, I would argue. Not terrible, but also not great.
I shot the hell out of that guy, huh?
Yeah, you sure did.
I feel sick.
Why didn't you just hang back like I told you to?
Well, you're glad I didn't, right?
I'm glad I didn't get my head blown off by a goddamn kid.
You know what? No. How about, hey, Ellie, I know it wasn't easy, but it was either him or me. Thanks for saving my ass. You got anything like that for me, Joel?
We gotta get going.
Lead the way.
That was something I never understood, as to why it is that Joel was angry at Ellie for that scene. Because he's definitely glad that that she saved him.
Wait there, okay?
But at the same time,
Sure, Joel. Not going
he's like upset that she decided to disobey him. I never understood that. I don't know, I'm sure there's a critique or something I can watch where they explain it. Also, my health is more than what it was beforehand. That's weird. I just noticed that. Yeah, so you see how I upgraded my melee weapon, and that was a little bit of a mistake on my part, because you get an upgrade book that allows you to enhance your melee weapons even more. Like, about a minute and a half after I decided to do that. And I did that on my last playthrough too, which
We need to get back out, find that
you know, I
bridge.
laughed at myself
Tell me where to go.
because I did the exact same thing.
This crap.
Again, I have this thing on max brightness. I don't know why it is that it's so difficult to see sometimes, so I apologize if it looks really, really dark. But I have it all the way up max brightness on the PS4. So I do not know why it is that it's not, like, super bright. Because it looks super bright on my TV, so I don't know. I don't know if it's the compression or something. But yeah, so right here, and I'm not wrong, about a minute and a half after I decided to upgrade it. Right there. Learn how to craft better melee weapons.
Wow, look at that.
That's a backdrop. People would take their pictures in front of it.
Yeah, I know what it is.
Okay, then. Something on your mind, Ellie?
I wasn't trying to disobey you back there. You were taking a really long time, and I thought maybe he's gotten into trouble.
Look, it don't matter what you thought. I need you to listen to me.
I do. It's just that... Whatever, Joel.
That door looks like a way out. Hey, you see a way to get up there?
Nope.
I'll be able to get
So this is something, and I've been thinking about this, because the first, or not the first God of War, the most recent 2018 God of War release definitely plays a lot off of what The Last of Us kind of laid out in terms of how to handle in-game relationships, but I feel, I don't know, at some point I'm going to make a whole video explaining why it is that I don't dislike 2018 God of War. It just feels like a very hollow experience.
Let's go.
And I don't know. I'm not certain as to why it feels that way. I think one of the main reasons why is just because it's very, like, sparse. Even though there's this huge open world that, you know, Kratos and Atreus are living in, that there's all this stuff, it's very empty. There's nothing happening. You go to, like, there's like 5 characters in the entire game. It doesn't feel lived in. It doesn't feel like anything has any,
Oh, shit. Come here, keep your head down. Right now, I'm gonna jump down there and I'm gonna clear us a path.
What about me?
You stay here.
This is so stupid. We'd have more of a fucking chance if you let me help.
I am. You seem to know your way around a gun. You reckon you can handle that?
Well, I sort of shot a rifle before, but it was at rats.
Rats?
With BBs.
Well, it's the same basic concept. Lift it up. All right, now. You're going to lean right into that stock, as it is going to kick a hell of a lot more than any baby rifle.
Okay.
Go and pull the bolt back. Grab it right there. Just tug it. There you go. And as soon as you fire, you're going to want to get another round in there quick. Listen to me. If I get into trouble down there, you make every shot count. Yeah?
I got this.
All right. And just so we're clear about back there, it was either him or me.
You're welcome.
but I got interrupted because I totally forgot that there was a cutscene right there. But yeah, I feel like it's a very sparse and empty world. Whereas like this game feels very
76 lookout guy, some fucking
lived in.
Kill all of them.
Shit.
And that's definitely something that I have, I guess, a slight issue with that new God of War. And then also just the story I have some slight issues with. I have no issues with the actual story itself, but certain aspects of it to me make no sense. There are kind of definitely like little plot holes. Not even really plot holes, I don't know. Because the plot, but there's like parts of the narrative that don't make any sense to me. Which, again, I'm going to talk about this when I make a video on it at some point. Probably not for a little while. But it's a good game, and I love the gameplay, but it does not scratch the narrative itch that like something like The Last of Us or The Last of Us Part 2 I feel does, personally. I have a slight issue with that because that was a solid headshot, but it still took 2 to kill him.
What you got? Fuck.
Everything's going well right up until this part here. It's the only time I died during this whole sequence, surprisingly. I feel like this is, I think, the most enemies that they have in one area in this game. And it's like 10 or so enemies. And they definitely up it for the sequel. For the sequel, 10 enemies is like the normal amount of enemies you're going to be facing at any time. Long range bow.
Okay, he's over there. You're dead, asshole.
Again, the shotgun just feels very like you're like unless they're directly in front of you. It feels like such a weak weapon in this game. I have to say, I never realized how useful those bombs can be, those nail bombs. Up until I started playing this the most recent time. I never really used any of the throwables and stuff, but you definitely want to. And that is all of them.
All right, come on down.
How'd I do?
How about something a little more your size? It's for emergencies only.
Okay.
Again, it might just be because
Now the safety's
they really
on.
start to like trust each other a lot
You know how
more
to switch it off.
I do.
in this section. Plus, I think it has the best opening of any
You gotta
part of
respect it. This is
this
not-
game.
Joel, I'll be careful.
Okay.
But this is just like, this is great. You know, their relationship starts to really develop in this part. Again, I get lost. Here I'm talking about how great this game is with being able to have open areas but still make it very clear as where you're supposed to go. And here I go and I get lost yet again. Gotta love it. It's over there, man. You already looked in there. There you go.
All right, do your thing, Ellie.
On it. Stupid chain is stuck. Hold on.
I am.
There.
It's good thinking. Help me open this. Got it.
Alright, so we got an upgrade bench right here. Now, personally, when I play this game, I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but I like to...
Let's do this.
I should have done one of the holsters first, because I have 151 pieces of scrap. But I just kind of ignore that. I like to do at least one upgrade for each part, or for each weapon, before I go onto like second areas for, you know, do like the second upgrade tree. I say as I proceed to upgrade everything else, though. But I don't know how I ended up with this much scrap. And it's funny because in easy mode,
Hey, there you go.
I didn't
That's
have
soap.
that much scrap. but normal I do.
Oh shit, get down, get down.
Busy couple of days, huh?
Whatever, man. Damn, no food. Old pair of shoes. We got nothing. Let's go.
Ain't nothing we could have done.
I know. It's just... Oh, man.
Let's just get to that bridge.
It's interesting, again, playing this game and then seeing, like, how they kind of, not foreshadow it, but they kind of, like, they're talking about how there's, like, military convoys that go through towns, and now these guys have one of them and have it up and running, and have one of these trucks up and running. How terrifying that would be, but also how, like, just ruthless these people are, because they are willing to just slaughter people on the chance that they might have something.
Fucking pickup truck duo. Yeah, there better have been an army in that truck. How the fuck did they wipe out the entire crew over there?
Let's just be cool, man.
Oh, fuck!
Now, that's interesting, because I remember in, that's the only time I've actually had an enemy do that in this game. Again, in the sequel, that happens a lot more often. That's the first time I had somebody do that while playing through the first Last of Us, and I remember when they showed one of the gameplay trailers, that was one of the things they included in it. And then I don't think it ever actually occurred until they did the remaster. They added in some extra, like, animations and stuff. Because I remember a lot of the, how the game was set up and how some of the stuff was being way different the first time I played it versus the remaster.
Appreciate it.
Market Street. Yeah, they're driving through that area now.
It's also crazy seeing this game, which came out at the end of the PS3's life cycle, versus The Last of Us Part 2, which is coming out at the end of the PS4's life cycle. The difference in quality between what was, like, considered to be an amazing looking, an amazing playing, an amazing story game back then versus now. I don't know. I think it's interesting. Again, weird glitches I keep having, such as the gun just, like, not coming out fast. I don't know. Weird little graphical issues like that happen in this remake, and I wonder if, like, they outsourced it to like a different studio and didn't say, but who knows. Again, just like weird things, like the fact that that was definitely a headshot on that guy, but they didn't give me the headshot marker.
Oh man, we're in survive.
What? Oh, the comic.
Endure and survive. And there are some little mine traps, if you go in a certain way, that you have to watch out for. Or also that one where you have to kind of duck under it. Again, I get lost because I don't know where it is I'm supposed to go. This is partially me searching and trying to scrounge up everything. But it's also definitely me getting lost, not knowing where I'm supposed to go. So, again, I praise this game saying, yeah, it's very clear where it is you have to go, but you can still explore. And the sequel, you know, they just make it look so good that it's tough to tell where it is you're supposed to go, but again, looking back and watching this and realizing that actually no, it's just an issue that these games have. It's interesting.
Go.
Same thing, I like to do one upgrade for each thing before I decide to go to the second part of an upgrade tree. Personally, just so we kind of end up with like a little bit of a more well-rounded kind of playthrough than one where it's a lot more one-sided, you know. Because even on easy, you can't play all the way through and upgrade everything.
Guess this is how it ended.
And again, this is normal. It's just my previous playthrough was on easy.
Got a losing side.
What if they had families?
Everyone has a family. Best not to dwell on it.
How can you not?
Again, I really wish that they'd just made it a little bit more
Come here, Ellie.
clear as to where it is you're supposed to go.
Okay.
There you go. We're almost there.
Yeah. Lots of little extra side conversations that you can have with Ellie in this part.
Back in the Boston QZ.
Military preparatory school.
Yeah, nice way of saying orphanage. I wonder what happened to all these kids.
Well, this place has been out for a good stretch. They ain't kids no more.
Meaning they're either hunters trying to kill us, or they're dead.
Part of me really wonders what happened to Ellie's parents. They never really
Where's
talk
another
about
one?
it, other than they're dead. But you know,
Posters are everywhere.
makes me
I
wonder
saw this
what we
before the outbreak.
what happened to them.
Did? Was he totally gut her by the end?
Nobody gets gutted. It's a dumb teen movie.
Who dragged you to see it then?
I don't know. Let's just stay focused, all right?
All right.
Lots of little side conversations.
Let's go through the alley.
Fucking truck.
It's all right. Just keep your head down.
So this area here, I don't know, everything has been like very well not populated, but there's like enough going on that like you're like, oh, okay, like this was a pretty busy area. Oh, excuse me. That was, you know, there's a lot going, you know, that had gone on here. And this part feels very open.
I'll think about it.
And I'm not really certain why it is. So I try to kill that guy, but you know, I'm staring at the
Some kind of military turret.
freaking current. You'll see what I mean. Like this area just feels very, very open for some reason. I totally forget that I put an instant kill upgrade on there. That comes in very handy. I do have to say that one of my favorite things about that like instant kill upgrade is coming up in very soon. That I didn't realize until my previous playthrough, and I'm gonna talk about that, but I also like this part because you don't get any new weapons. You just have what you had from the previous areas. It doesn't get any better. It just gets a little bit more cohesive, I guess, or a little bit more concentrated as to where it's actually supposed to go.
Thank you.
Get some extra upgrade material. Or some crafting materials, rather. Alright, so in this window right here, there's just a little bit of some more crafting materials. You know, some more scrap, a bunch of pills and stuff over here. Alrighty, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for this episode. So if you like this content, Feel free to subscribe for more. Feel free to like and comment as well if you'd like. And I will see you all in the next episode.
Can't see us.
Bye.
Look!
Leave him alone. Easy, son. Just take it easy.
It's all right. They're not the bad guys. Lower the gun. Man, you hit hard.
Yeah, well, I was trying to kill you.
Yeah, I thought you were one of them, too. Then I saw you. If you haven't noticed, they don't keep kids around. Survival of the fittest.
You're bleeding.
It's just nothing. I'm Henry. This is Sam. I think I caught your name was Joel.
Ellie.
How many are with you?
They're all dead.
Hey, we don't know that. There were a bunch of us. Someone had the brilliant idea of entering the city, look for supplies. Those fuckers, they ambushed us, scattered us. Now it's all about getting out of this shithole.
We can help each other.
Ellie.
Safety in numbers and all that.
She's right. We could help each other. We got a hideout not too far from here. Be safer if we chat there.
All right, take us there.